This episode is brought to you by Accenture. When your advertising operations fall out of sync, everything else follows. Spotify and Accenture are working together to reinvent the rhythm of ad sales, using automation, analytics, and smarter workflows to simplify campaign delivery and access better data across the business. The result? Less time spent on operations, more time connecting brands with the moments and fandoms that matter most. Learn more at accenture.com/Spotify.
The new LinkedIn Hiring Pro can't undo your last hire. The human postponer. They were the master of one phrase. I'll circle back on that. But 3 months later, you are the one doing all their work and wondering how big that circle is. But LinkedIn Hiring Pro can take the hiring load off your plate by automating the hiring busy work from the initial job post to scheduling interviews. Hire right the first time with LinkedIn Hiring Pro. Post a free job today at linkedin.com/quality.
This summer, say I do.
I am marrying a stranger.
Like never before.
Am I crazy?
It's a whole new Married at First Sight on Peacock.
Thank God I woke up in love.
With new experts.
My name is Dr. Lisa.
My name is Paul Brunson.
More couples.
This could be the start of a very successful marriage.
And more surprises.
Or maybe not.
Everything is just not enough.
You're a little bit crazy.
I don't know what's gonna happen. I want my fairy tale ending.
Married at First Sight, streaming July 12th, only on Peacock.
Hi, Dumpster Divas. Welcome back to another episode of Dumpster Dive, a reality TV deep dive with me, Tom Hamlet. I am happy to be here, diving into, of course, my favorite show on Bravo, and that is Summer House. A lot of y'all came to this show because of Summer House, and that makes me so happy, because I've been a Summer House truther for as long as I can remember. And, you know, in honor of Summer House just starting filming again for season 11 this past weekend, and then, you know, in honor of an incredible 10th season, I wanted to do a little ranking of all of the seasons of Summer House and see kind of what y'all think. So this is going to be a tier ranking where we're going off of the tier list, which is S as in, you know, the God tier, and then A, B, C, and D. We're going to rank seasons 1 through 10 somewhere in this tier ranking list. And yeah, we're just going to do that together. And I would love to hear what y'all think. Now, remember, I've done a couple tier rankings on here before. And, you know, people like to say that, you know, you're crazy. Why did you think that? And I respect your opinion, but this is my opinion. Okay. I do want to hear your opinion, but just don't get mad at me about my opinion. There's things that I love about these shows that not everyone else does. So just want to let that all be known before we get into this, because people do be scary. One last thing before we get into it. I am going to be doing a rewatch of season 5 of Summer House. That is the COVID season, and you'll soon learn why that is, because I do love the COVID season of Summer House. But that will be out next week. So this is kind of a jumping off point for us to get into some throwback recaps of season 5 of Summer House. But let's get after this ranking. So to start, of course, we have season 1. Now, season 1 premiered, I believe, in 2016. And the season 1 cast is, you know, gone but not forgotten. We had, of course, Lindsay, Carl, Kyle, and Amanda as a friend of, I guess you could say. And, you know, here's my thing with Amanda, and I've said this from the jump. You were never cast on this show. You started hooking up with Kyle, whether that was because he was on a show or not. The jury's still out on that. But they, because what had happened was they were hooking up. They were dating. He broke up with her and then went to go film Summer House. And then she was like, no, I want to maybe still date. But like, maybe if there's a camera, can the camera be a part of it? I don't know. There's just something sus about it. It's like you decided to get back together when a camera was involved. Methinks a little opportunistic, but you know, maybe not. But Summer House season 1 was like a loose spinoff of Vanderpump Rules because Stassi, I think, knew the Workus twins and Kyle from Mutuals in the City. And so that first episode is like a combo episode with Vanderpump Rules and Summer House. We also covered Summer House season 1 here on the podcast. If you want to go find that, it's back in the archives. It can also all be found in video form on the Patreon at patreon.com/dumpsterdivepod. I actually really quite like season 1 of Summer House. I think it's better than you remember. It's not amazing, especially based on where we are now, but because of its impact, it's whenever I do these season rankings, it's hard for me to put the first season low because without it, where would we be? So I'm going to put season 1 of Summer House on a B ranking on our tier list. Okay, moving on to season 2 of Summer House. Now, season 2 is kind of where the lore of the show really begins. We move into that house that kind of became iconically Summer House. They were there for seasons 2, 3, and 4. This is where a lot of people started to fall into Summer House. That first season house, is gone and forgotten, I think. And I think that's okay. It was a gorgeous house, but I don't think it has the iconography that this season 2, 3, 4 house has. I loved this house. I felt at home at this house. This is where I met my friends, aka, Paige and Hannah, back when I was a giggly girl. And yeah, this was home for me for a while, this spot. So I have a lot of love for this house. However, season 2 is kind of our in-between spot. I feel that we almost lost the show at season 2. We almost lost our footing. And, I want to talk about Steven for a second. I feel that the gays on all reality TV get a bad rap, especially from the gay community like myself, because we're always like, why this gay? Why this gay? And that's usually out of a place of jealousy because we, in fact, want to be that gay that got cast on that reality show. I mean, I've said forever that I would love to be on Summer House. So I think he gets a bad rap, but I will say he also didn't do great here. And he pushed this Carl storyline about how, he kind of tried to out Carl essentially just because Carl was befriending other people in the house as like kind of lashing out at him. And I think it all maybe had to do with Steven maybe being in love with Carl. And Carl, opened up privately to him about how he had a relationship with a guy, like a brief sexual encounter with a guy, in college, and it just wasn't for him. And I think that's super normal. I think a lot of straight men actually have done that, and they just are scared to talk about it because the patriarchy is, frightening and masculinity is sacred, right? But he opened up about that, and then Steven used that against him. We did get a really great couple of episodes about Steven and his family and his coming out journey, which I did think was really special. But all in all, Steven trying to bring Carl out of the closet, even though he wasn't ever in a closet. And the Workus twins, one of them is gone, and the other one is there. Leaves us with a bit of a meh season. And this is also the entry of Danielle. She comes in season 2. So I'm going to put season 2 of Summer House at a C ranking. Okay, moving on to season 3. Now, season 3 is often the point of Summer House where I say to people who, have never seen the show before, you need to start with season 3. If you need a season to start with, it's 3. Watch 3, 4, 5, go back to 1, 2 now that you get the premise, and then do 6 through 10, because 6 through 10 is then in the house that we've come to know and love as our house that we're in now. I don't know. But actually that house is gone. So they're filming in a new house right now in the summer. Regardless, season 3 is a great starting point. Paige is an immediate star. Hannah also is an immediate star. And we get a character that I actually kind of liked. Now, I don't think he's someone I want to hang out with. He gives big incel energy and he's a pathological liar, but that is Jordan. I really liked Jordan for the show. He made a lot of, hilarious moments because he just quite literally lies. Miss Jordan lies. And also Miss Jordan is such a man of the world. He now I think runs a farm and is like a bearded like muscle man. At this point, he was a Betches employee.
This summer, soccer is here, and so are the watch parties. And Uber Eats has your game day essentials covered. Everything you need to keep your crowd happy, delivered straight to your door. Get wings, pizza, chips, dips, fresh ingredients, and more. Keep the soccer going and all your game day essentials flowing. Order in so you can lock in for the games. Only on Uber Eats for a limited time.
This summer, Prime Video takes you back before Legally Blonde, before law school, and into the world of Elle Woods in high school. Set in 1995, this Gemini vegetarian knows exactly who she is until her family moves from Bel Air to Seattle. Packed with iconic fashion, 90s nostalgia, and a throwback soundtrack, Elle proves one thing. Law school was hard. High school was harder. From the world of Legally Blonde, watch Elle, a new original series only on Prime Video. Watch now.
The pipeline from Betches to muscle bearded mountain men has one person on it, and that's Jordan. So great season, though. All in all, great season. We get to really meet some stars here, and I think we start to feel that the cast really clicks. So I'm going to put season 3 of Summer House at an A. An A. I know that seems high, but I actually really, really enjoy it. I've rewatched this season recently and had a great time. Okay, up next. And you also will soon find out that I love most all seasons of Summer House. This is going to be that critical of a list, but next we have season 4 of Summer House. Now, if season 3 walked, so season 4 could run, because Paige and Hannah have finally found their footing and they are really operating on all cylinders. We have a great addition of Luke into the house, where Luke and Hannah have one of the, I would say, one of our greatest will they won't they's on reality television. It's really fascinating and exciting to see them navigate potentially being in a romantic relationship. I remember watching it and having the fanny flaws. The fanny flaws were fluttering when I was watching Luke and Hannah play tennis. So I love this season. Love it. We also get the iconic first instance of a storyline that maybe Carl and Lindsay are going to hook up, because I think he finger blasted her in the back of a car somewhere. French fries, as the Love Island kids say. And it's a fun season because the Hannah and Paige dynamic now fits a little bit better because the whole cast really, really likes them. And so it feels like an authentic friend group. We also get the introduction of Giggly Squad here, because it gets lost in the sauce sometimes that Kyle is the one that formed the idea of the Giggly Squad by pointing out that Hannah and Paige were being incredibly rude, and called them the Giggly Squad over at the end of the table. And then they went to go make a podcast empire off of that. Let me think of any other moments. Oh, I believe this is also the season where Lindsay says, "You don't want to see me activated, because if I'm activated, I'm activated." And then Carl, this was peak Carl crashing out. It's dark. It does get dark, especially getting into season 5. Like season 4, Carl he had just lost his job and he was drinking way too much and he was doing other substances and was starting to maybe work with Loverboy, and it's just a lot. Also, this, I think, is when Loverboy really becomes a moment. It's been a slow burn in seasons 2 and 3, and I think season 4, it was like, oh, Loverboy is a brand that we will be consuming, and it was a big moment for Kyle. So, season 4 has a ton to offer. I'm throwing season 4 as a God tier, an S tier, and once again, these rankings aren't within the reality television pantheon. Could season 4 of Summer House hang with season 8 of Roni? No. But in the terms of Summer House and what we want from Summer House, season 4 does a great job. Okay, moving on to season number 5. So season 5, this was our COVID season. Now, once again, plug for the show, but this is the season that I am going to be going back and recapping. And I'm going to be recapping this from the jump. I'm gonna do like I think a couple episodes an episode. So if you aren't gonna maybe listen or watch the whole season, it's fine. Just listen to me gab about it. It's gonna be probably me ranting about so many other just little tangents. So, but season 5. The reason I'm recapping it, baby, because I do feel like this is one of our great seasons. This is one of our great seasons of reality TV, and I think it's probably one of the only shows that worked in COVID. We have that haunted Beverly Hills season that was good, but then there's like confessionals that they're filming on iPhones where they're like, and then I told Kyle that I don't think Kyle should do that. Like, it's just, it just didn't work. Here, everything operates perfectly because they had to just stay in the house, work from home in the house. I need more of this. I loved the season. Also, I'll mention it in the recap, but like we get such a fun like Airbnb COVID fever dream, which is they did a bar crawl where everyone had to decorate their room as the like local bar where they grew up in. And so like they went through each room and there was like a specialty cocktail in each room. I thought that was so fun. I love this season. I love it. It's one of my favorites. And the cast stays the same plus the addition of Sierra. And then we also get, the crash outs of Hannah. We also get the will they, won't they of Kyle and Amanda's wedding. Also, we didn't even mention at the end of season 4 that was when Kyle and Amanda got engaged after cheating rumors. And we also didn't even mention the email in season 4. Season 4, once again, it's continuing to justify its ranking on a God tier. But season 5, it's a blast. It's a blast and a half. And for those reasons, I will be putting it on a God tier. There we go. Also, by the way, I didn't mention this, but I am, if you're just listening to the version of this, there is a visual component. There is a visual component where you can actually see me pulling and pressing buttons. Beep, beep, boop, beep, beep. Because I'm a tech genius over here. Okay, next we have season 6. Now, season 6 of the show. Now, once again, 5 was a high. 6, I'm not going to call it a low, but I do think we kind of lost a bit of our footing. We found the new house that we were in, and this is also when we start to get the inklings of Carl and Lindsay maybe wanting to be an item again. It doesn't happen until the end of the season because most of the season is just all about Kymanda's wedding. Now, I don't know if I have Kymanda fatigue now. That's probably part of what it is, but I don't really care about this wedding. And I didn't care about it in the season. I think it's because we forget how little we rooted for them. It's tough. It's really, really tough. Also, the end of the season is where Paige and Craig end up becoming an item at the wedding. The whole season essentially just barrels towards this wedding, but then the rest of the season is kind of like just a non-entity. So unfortunately, I'm going to put season 6 at a B. That still feels kind of high. Obviously, I talked positively about season 1 that's in a B, and now season 6. You know what? No, I'm going to bring it down to a C because I think 75% of season 6 is meh. And then the last 2 episodes are great because we get the Kymanda wedding. We get the Craig Paige. We get the reunion where it's revealed that Craig got kicked out of the wedding. Like there is a lot of drama, but unfortunately it's only in that back little chunk. So overall, going to put it at a C. Moving on to season number 7. Now also season 6 and 7 and 8 and 9 and 10. You know what? The whole back half. We kind of have a defense against the dark arts role for a Harry Potter reference for those that used to love Harry Potter and now, fuck J.K. Rowling. But, it's a role that's always changing. And that is the 10th cast member. There's just kind of a revolving door of these 10th cast members. We had this guy, Alex. We had this woman, Sam. I really liked Sam. Maya stayed around for a couple seasons. We did have Gabby for a couple seasons. There was another guy on season 6 that I'm blanking his name. Love and light to you, but yeah. So season 7, you know, it has another one of those cast members. I think 7 was the one with that guy, Alex. He was a Barry's instructor. And 7 is a little bit better, I think, than 6. I think we're still in a good spot with the group. Everyone really gets along. There's a little bit better story because now Carl and Lindsay are getting engaged, and we get the crazy fallout of Danielle being like, this is a disaster. Also, in between 6 and 7 is when Winter House started. Oh, also in 6, Andrea is in that season, which we forgot to mention that. But I love Andrea, but I actually kind of liked him better on Winter House, probably, you know? But so season 7 has some trickle effects of Winter House drama. And this Winter House, we did get Carl and Lindsay together for the first time. But then this is where they're getting engaged on this season. And, you know, I loved the crash outs. I love the Danielle crash outs. Do I agree with it? No. Does it make sense to me? Absolutely not. But do I enjoy watching it? Absolutely do. So shout out to Danielle for crashing out. And it did bring some good drama. All in all, though, I do think it's not a perfect season, and it's kind of we're rebuilding after season 6. So I'm going to put season 7 of Summer House on a B ranking. Not bad. Really enjoyable. All of these seasons are enjoyable. But we're still rebuilding towards a really solid next 3 seasons. Okay. Moving on to season number 8. So season 8 is our engagement fallout season. Now, also, we need to Men in Black our brains. Men in Black your brain for a second. West and Jesse put a jolt of energy into this show. 2 new guys, just an absolute blast to be around. Love everything they bring to the table. We also have Gabby, who is a great character for television. I can't believe she wasn't on 10, honestly. I really love her. And West and Jesse, just like, we had this will they, won't they with Sierra and West. Jesse was a hilarious little fuckboy, and it was a gay old time. I love this season. Now, obviously, in hindsight, fuck West, but like in the moment, we're like, oh my God, West. So, you know, and I loved this season. I remember when this season started moving, and I was like, oh, Summer House is like maybe one of the greatest shows on Bravo. It's a blast. The friendships are authentic. You just believe all the scenarios that are going on in the show. And then the whole thing blows up right at the end when Carl says, Lindsay, we're not going to get married. And I know the wedding's 6 weeks away, but it's a wrap on us, which led to a great reunion performance from all parties. So I'm going to put season 8 on an God tier, an S tier. I thought this was a really beautiful reinvention of the show. It felt fresh, but it still felt like the cast was old and familiar, but then new and fresh. Great season. Up next, we got season 9. Season 9 is kind of just a continuation of everything that season 8 was. We did have the addition of Lexi. Gabby is still in the mix, and Carl and Lindsay are kind of falling out post everything going on, and Lindsay reveals that she is pregnant in this season. It was crazy to see Lindsay and Carl film this season together because like they obviously hadn't spoken, and she's pregnant. So there's a lot going on here. Carl is trying to get his life together, and he's, you know, starting Soft Bar, and West is, you know, dealing with the fallout over Sierra. But the season mostly revolves around Lexi and Jesse's situation, and Jesse really is the ultimate fuckboy. And so is West. And I think we forget that now because West has become so bad that we're like, Jesse's okay, but Jesse really screwed over Lexi, you know? So I'm going to give season 9 a. I think it's a good season. Quite really good season, actually. But like, it's just not as fantastic as 4, 5, and 8. And also not as fantastic as this last one we're about to get to. So last and certainly not least, we have season 10. Season 10 was the season that blew up the world, blew up the show, and really made Summer House a household name. I think what's different about Vanderpump Rules and Summer House in terms of their scandals is that not as many people were watching Summer House, which gives them a lot of potential to continue to grow from here. Vanderpump Rules, everyone was watching it, the whole scandal imploded, and it kind of ended the show. I think if the cards are played right, season 10 can really be a launching off point for another fantastic 10 seasons of the show, as long as the formula works. And I mean, we're already getting things from season 11 about how Kyle is just a mess. I cannot wait to see Kyle be feral in the Hamptons. He's going to be terrible. He's going to be horrible. Can't wait. But season 10, take the scandal out of it. It was a really fantastic season out of authentic friendships. I think that is lost sometimes on these shows because we're always searching for drama. Sometimes the best part about these shows is the authentic, fun friendship dynamics. That's why when Married to Medicine is working at its best, it's fantastic because they are an authentic group of friends. That's why Roni works so well on those middle seasons because they genuinely became a locked-in friend group. That's when the shows really excel, and I think season 10 is a fantastic example of that. Obviously, it makes the come down even worse on the other side of it when, you know, the scandal happens and breaks apart the friend group. But from a dramatic standpoint, a theatrical standpoint, like there is layers of friendship dynamics that you couldn't write in a play. So I just think season 10 will go down as one of the most fantastic seasons of the show. And I also am a little biased because I do think season 10 was a launching off point for this podcast for a lot of people to just get involved in my thoughts on everything. So season 10 will forever hold a place in my heart. And I can't wait to see what happens next. Obviously, I'm putting season 10 at an S tier.
Do you hear that? Sounds like breakfast is ready. Because Quaker's coming in hot with morning nutrition. 100% whole grain oats and a good source of fiber to fuel the rhythm of your morning and kickstart your day. And that sounds absolutely delicious. Fuel to start whatever's next. Quaker, official sponsor of FIFA World Cup 26.
Tomorrow morning is knocking. Stock your fridge now. How about a creamy mocha frappuccino drink? Or a sweet vanilla? Smooth caramel maybe? Or a white chocolate mocha? Whichever you choose, delicious coffee awaits. Find Starbucks Frappuccino drinks wherever you buy your groceries.
So that is our ranking. That's our tier ranking of all 10 seasons of Summer House. So quickly to go through it. On our C ranking, I'm not going to go in season order. I'm just going to go from the bottom to the top. So our lowest ranking was a C. No one had D's. At the C, we have season 2 and season 6. At our B level, we have season 1 and season 7. At our A level, we have seasons 3 and seasons 9. And then at our God tier level, we have seasons 4, 5, 8, and 10. Let me know what y'all think about this. I think this is a pretty definitive ranking. I can't imagine anyone in the comments is going to be like, season 2 is God tier. But you know what? Hop in if you think so. And let me know what other rankings you would like to see me do. I always have a really good time doing these not blind rankings, excuse me. I always have a really good time doing these tier rankings. Also, check out the podcast next week. We will have quite a few Summer House recaps drop simultaneously. I want everyone to just dive into that, recapping season 5 of Summer House. And it'll just help you get through the hot July, rewatch a season of Summer House, have a rosé, have an NA beer, and listen to me gossip about my favorite straights. One last thing before we go, I just wanted to give a big thank you to our patrons that support this show, especially our Trash Philanthropist. That is our highest tier on the Patreon. And you could also become a Trash Philanthropist on the Patreon and get shout outs here at the end of the show. So thank you to Marianne, Andrew, Barbara, Kayla, Andrew, Brandon, and Wendy. Y'all keep the lights on here in the dumpster, and I really appreciate you for it. Talk to y'all later. Bye.
Hey, it's Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. Now, I was looking for fun ways to tell you that Mint's offer of unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month is back. So I thought it would be fun if we made $15 bills. But it turns out that's very illegal. So there goes my big idea for the commercial. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3 months, $90 for 6 months, or $180 for 12-month plan required. $15 per month equivalent. Taxes and fees extra. Initial plan term only. Greater than 50 gigabytes may slow when network is busy. See terms.
The right window treatments change everything. Your sleep, your privacy, the way every room looks and feels. At Blinds.com, we've spent 30 years making it surprisingly simple to get exactly what your home needs. We've covered over 25 million windows and have 50,000 5-star reviews to prove we deliver. Whether you DIY it or want a pro to handle everything from measure to install, we have you covered. Real design professionals, free samples, zero pressure. Right now, get up to 45% off site-wide, plus get a free professional measure at Blinds.com. Rules and restrictions apply.
Ouch. This knee is killing me, but I can't stop training. The marathon is in 2 weeks.
Let's get on ZocDoc and find a doctor to take a look at that for you.
Okay.
Here's a review. Dr. Craddock really takes his time.
No, I don't have time.
What about Dr. Charles? His patients say he can help find a quick fix, and he's in network.
Great, now we're talking. Book it.
Booked. 1 mile down, 19 to go.
Bring it on.
You've got options. Download the ZocDoc app today.
Traditional home security only alerts you after a break-in, and that's too late. SimpliSafe is changing that.
Stop. This is SimpliSafe. Police are on the way.
We don't just alert. We stop crime before it starts. SimpliSafe. Plan starting around $1 a day. Save 50% on your new system with professional monitoring at simplisafe.com/Spotify or with promo code Spotify.
Outdoor deterrence requires a SimpliSafe Active Guard outdoor protection plan starting at $49.99 a month. Visit simplisafe.com/licenses for alarm license information. Tennessee 2012.
Queen Carvania stood haloed by the morning sun. An army hung on her every word.
My champions, I have sold my chariot on Carvana. 'Twas a lovely SUV, an inexplicably queenly offer. They're even coming to the castle to collect it. Tonight, we feast! An offer you can feast on. Sell your car today on Carvana. Pickup fees may apply.